Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you back to the Kick-Ass Leadership Series. Dr. Jennifer Edwards and I love coming to you live to share with you different bits of information about being a leader as it relates to how we coach. So I'm going to add her in. So give me just a minute to add her.
Yes, welcome. Hi, Jen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are
Good.
you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm so excited that we're back at it doing our Kick-Ass Leadership
Me
series.
too. Me too. And so today we are going to talk about really this is part one of a four-part series. And today's part one is on what we're calling energy blocks. And these are really obstacles that keep us stuck. They hold us back really in everything. And since everything is energy, right, including you and me, your energy level influences how you show up in life, how you experience life. It shapes your outcomes. It shapes the impact that you have. And so when your energy is blocked, you stay in this low state, right? It leads to negative emotions, negative feelings, and ultimately negative results. And so the series is really to help you identify and overcome these energy blocks for a more empowered life. What would you add there, Jen, to just sort of the concept of this series?
Yeah, it's so many people, and I'm sure anybody listening can relate to this. There's things in life that we want. There's things we want to achieve, whether it's something at work, a personal relationship, something with a team that you're leading, or something in your community that you're leading, and you just can't quite get there. And you don't know why. You try this, you try that, you try everything, and the problem isn't that you're not capable or that it's not available, but when we're stuck in these low vibrational energies or low levels of energy, it creates a stuckness, and from there's never going to be a forward progression or feeling of success.
Absolutely. And you and I were both coaches, and this is something that we focus on heavily with our
Yes.
clients are the things that are keeping you stuck. And so the reason this is a four-part series, right, is because there are four main blockers. And so we're going to focus
Mhm.
on one of them today. We're going to keep it short and bite-sized, but the one we're going to focus on is one that probably anybody who's listening is familiar with, which is the concept of a limiting belief. And if we
Yes.
think about a limiting belief, it's really like the beliefs about the world, about various things, about ourselves that feel true, but at really the end of the day, they hold us back. They strip us of our power.
Yeah.
And so I know you and I have different examples of them. Maybe share an example that you can think of that's a limiting belief.
Yeah, so they can be really about anything, and there's a million examples, but one might be my access to success is limited because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
The thing that's a common one, and what I want to point out is somebody might sit there and say, but that's true. Like I know for a fact, and all these statistics and all the blah, 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 and all the, and what happens with these beliefs is somewhere along the way we're taught them or we make them up, and they really, really seem like the truth. And often we have so much evidence to support proving that they're true. Like we walk around with these little evidence baskets, and everything that happens in life that's in support of that belief, we're like, oh, there, oh, look what he said. Oh, look what happened. Oh, I got turned down for the promotion. And we walk along with our little basket of evidence, and we're like, see, I got all the proof. I know it's true. And what happens is all of the things that happen that are not in agreement with the belief, we're like, well, that was an exception. Well, that was just because she got lucky, or and that is just an example of one that is really common. What would be an example that you could think of?
So there's one that I used to hold, which was success only comes when you work hard and when you're stressed.
Oh,
That's
yes.
successful unless you're working hard and you're stressed. And those three things come together. And to your point, I had a full evidence bag that that was the case. And actually, I'll tell you, I had a client today who we were discussing limiting beliefs, and she said, it's my shit bag. I'm holding a bag full of shit and I keep adding to it. And so the goal really then is like, once we can identify, right, that there's this truth that we think is reality, and we can identify and say, gosh, that is something I hold true. It's then this amazing sort of transformation to be able to ask yourself, like, how true is that really? So, Jen, I'm curious, like when you do work around limiting beliefs with clients or yourself, even, what do you kind of consider in order to start to untangle and unwind what feels true.
Yeah. Well, a few things that I would say, and these are things that if people can really grasp and hold on to, can be game changers. Number one, don't believe your thoughts. So just because you think it and just because you believe it doesn't mean it's true. The other thing is everything is only true until it's not. Now, that is not to diminish anybody's thoughts or feelings, because when something is true for us, it is our truth, and that is real, and it's a real experience, and it's not about pretending like nothing we're experiencing is real for us. But just remember, somewhere in the back of your head, how many things in the past that have been true, and then somebody tells you something, you get an information, and you're like, oh, and now that's not true anymore. So it's the same thing with these beliefs. When we start to unpack them and open up awareness, we can start to actually let go in believing them and create new, more empowering beliefs to take their place that don't hold us back and that allow possibility. And one quick example I just wanted to share. Last week I was at a women's conference and I was coaching someone, and they were really, really, really stuck around creating a price for a program that they're creating. And what we narrowed it down to was that they had a belief that once you set a price, you couldn't change it, like ever. And that wasn't wrong, and it wasn't bad, and it wasn't right, and it wasn't true, and it wasn't nothing. It just was. And for her, she didn't even realize that was running in the background. But once we brought that far, and I went, whoa, whoa, hang on. And we honed in on that. And I said, well, what if just for a game, you didn't have to hold on to that? She's like, oh, well, then I would set my price tomorrow and launch my program. And she did. So it's like, it can be that quick and that simple. It's just incredibly powerful work.
I love that. It absolutely is. I think it's also sort of fun to play with these beliefs. Like I'll often say to somebody, okay, that may be true. What evidence do you have that it's not true? And
Mm.
they can think of 7 people, right, where their belief doesn't apply, which sort of starts the wheels turning of like, wait a minute, I thought this was true. It does feel true to me. And to your point, right, that's fine. But can we examine it a little bit? And I had a coach once say to me, it's like you want to put it on a table and like look at it. Have no judgment about it. Just like look at it, examine it. Is it real? What are other angles you can look at this with? And then to your point, kind of come around to like, if I could believe something that would allow me to move forward with whatever it is that's keeping me stuck, what would I have to believe?
Right.
Right? Like all of a sudden you have this new belief that's available to you that you didn't think of. So for example, if we go back to like the one that I shared, which was you have to, hard work comes with success success comes with hard work and stress. I might say, wait a minute, that doesn't have to be the case. I know somebody that's doing this work that they love and they enjoy it and they're not stressed out. And okay, if that were true for me, what would have to happen? Right. And all of a sudden now the wheels are moving.
Yeah. And 100%. And two thoughts with that. I'll just qualify, you said, and then we have access to a new belief. Well, what I'll add is we actually have access to infinite new beliefs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Infinite possibilities are always available. We just can't see them, and that's normal.
Yes.
It's just that with help, this goes to this.
Yes.
And then lastly, just kind of tying it back to my analogy earlier that we're skipping through life with our little evidence basket, putting everything in there. Well, everything that we discarded along the way because it didn't support it, what you're doing, what you described with your clients is you're saying, I want you to go back and pick up all those pieces you threw out that disproved your belief, because there's tons of them all the time.
Yes.
And look at the more empowering evidence that dissupports, unsupports your limiting belief.
I love that. I love that. So as we wrap, maybe we could each sort of give like a suggested next step. So I'll start and then you
Sure.
go. So I would say to anybody who's listening or watching and is like, "Ooh, this is interesting. I wonder what my limiting beliefs are." I would ask you to really think about, what truths do you hold? What are truths about your work, about your leadership, about your success, about your progress, about possibilities? What are the truths that you hold? Just jot them down. Start there, jotting them down. and then examine them a little bit. And I'll say, maybe let's start there, but go ahead, Jen. What
Yeah,
would you say?
yeah, just like that. And I would say, even taking it even more specifically, think of one even little thing in life where you feel stuck. That it could be huge, like I'll never find a partner, or it could be something little like I just never can seem to get my closet clean. Like it doesn't matter. And write that down. Like, what is the issue? What beliefs do you have? It could be, I never have enough time
Mm.
to clean the closet, right? Okay, boom, you're done. Like, that's your limiting belief. Now you can start to examine, okay, how true is that really? Now you believe it to be true, but how true really is it? What might be some alternative truths?
Mm.
If you were to be able to like create time by maybe doing something else, then it's no longer true that you don't have enough time. So you can start to unpack it step by step, and almost like, disproving yourself in a powerful way.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Well, thank you for coming live with me today.
Thank you.
I'm
It's always fun.
It's always fun. I'm excited for us to dig into part 2, which we will do in a more timely way. I know coming up in the next week or so. So I will see you on the other side then, Jen.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All right.
Gina. Bye, everybody.